Hi guys, good afternoon. So my name is Nico Dagus, and for today's interview, I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Teodoro Ferrer, the president of Generika Drugstore. So first of all, Mr. Ferrer, thank you very much for having us here. How are you today, sir?
It's good. I'm looking forward to this interview.
Yes.
And try to see if we can, I can be of help to you and the other students.
Yes, sir.
And the other young entrepreneurs.
Thank you very much, sir, for having us here and having this interview with us. So, before we talk about the very successful franchise that is Generika Drugstore, we'd like to know more about the man who was awarded one of the top 10 outstanding entrepreneurs by Entrepreneur Magazine in the year 2008. Am I right, sir?
I think so.
Yes, sir. So, so for our first question, can you please tell us about yourself as an entrepreneur and when did you first get into the world of business?
Okay. I spent most of my time in the corporate world as in various positions in the Ayala group of companies. And I spent total about a little more than 30 years. Started in Ayala Corp, but I was assigned to various companies like Legaspi Oil. I was there for about 5 years, and then back to Ayala and in strategic planning, and then assigned to Insular Life because at that time Insular Life was still part of Ayala. And then for 5 years I was assigned to integrated microelectronics in the finance area as controller or chief financial officer. After integrated microelectronics, I went back to Ayala, strategic planning again for a few years. And then my next assignment was with the Ayala insurance companies, Ayala Life, FGU, and Universal Insurance. And then I was taken back into Mermac. I don't know if you're not familiar. You have Ayala Corp, it's the holding company
So
for
it's also under Ayala.
Ayala Land, PPI, Manila Water, and various Globe and various subsidiaries. The holding company of Ayala Corp is Mermac Inc. And that is where the Sobels have that's their company, holding company. So my last few years, 6 years, were with the holding company of Ayala Corp. And so if we would have board meetings, this would be all Sobels there in front. So that's where it ended. And actually I was about to retire at the age of 60 when the idea of Generika first came up. And it was not planned. It came out of nowhere, actually.
Okay, so sir, to follow up from that idea, so you did not get into the pharmaceutical industry during your working years.
No.
So when did that happen? It was
like I was saying,
yeah.
I was about to retire at the age of 60.
That was only when?
About 11 years ago.
Yes.
A colleague of mine, actually a Frenchman, who's married to the niece of my wife, who came to the Philippines to implement the livelihood projects using French donor money. There was a foundation. Because of the relationship, he took me into the foundation as a director, and then he was to implement the livelihood projects. Okay. He was the one who made the observation that some employees of the foundation were getting sick, but they were buying antibiotics and so on, and buying the branded medicines, which are very expensive, which they could not really afford, because you need a full dosage. You cannot just take it for 2 or 3 days. You're not really gonna well. And he was saying that there were actually therapeutic equivalents, which are the generic medicines. Remember, this is 11 years ago.
Yes.
And basically he asked me, why don't we do something about it? Yeah. I was about to retire. Had some retirement money coming in, and I thought about it for a while, and I said, yes, let's try to do something in the private sector to address the need of Filipinos insofar as healthcare is concerned. 10, 11 years ago, and to some extent even now, the resistance of the general public to generic medicines was very strong. Nobody was really interested in generic medicines partly because of lack of information, partly because it was not accessible. And the questions that we encountered was, bakit masyadong mura yan? Baka gaw-gaw lang yan. Baka hindi effective yan. Baka, quality is a big question and so on. And so they were buying the branded.
Expensive brands.
Yeah. And which is, it's the cost difference is 85-90% you can save if you buy the generic medicines against buying the branded. And therapeutically, you actually get the same benefits. Remember, the generics law was actually passed in 1988 by the government, but the implementation was not very successful. You probably heard about Butika ng Bayan before.
Yes.
Butika ng Barangay. This was the way that the government was trying to implement. They would import and then they would distribute to this Butika ng Bayan and so on and so on. But still, 1988. We started 2003, 4 actually. So for many, many years, the acceptance level was still very low.
Okay.
Even when we started, we had a hard time. We really spent a lot of time educating the schools, the communities, the barangays, and then answering questions about generic medicine. And it was a major effort actually, because the perception of people, ay, gaw-gaw lang yan.
Yeah. So, kumbaga wala pang trust yung customers before. That's why hindi pa siya ganun.
Yeah. But then, that was also the reason why I became interested.
Yes.
Because it's for me, it's more of an advocacy.
Yes.
Because precisely nga, so half of the population is poor.
Yeah.
And lalo na if you have to buy the branded medicines. You'd spend thousands a month if you have diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, or what. And these people cannot spend 5,000-10,000 a month for that.
It's like an opportunity to make what is supposed to be luxurious available to the masses.
It's not luxurious.
It's
a
not.
necessity.
It's a necessity.
Are a necessity. Di ba yung endorser namin si Boy Abunda? Maybe you've seen the ads. One reason why we got him and why he's very credible is because he had the personal experience. The family was poor.
Okay.
His own personal experience was his father died because they could not afford to buy the medicines. Yun ang fun. And that is the situation of many Filipinos still until now. So health care is not a luxury, it's a necessity.
It's a necessity.
And but at the same time, well, coming from wala kaming pharma experience, wala kaming retail experience, but ako naman, because of my background, I was assigned to many industries. I was confident that if you get the right people who have experience in the industry, you can apply the same business principles and practices, and you can be successful. Kaya malakas ang loob.
Even if you have no strong prior experience about the
That's why I had that confidence, because I was assigned to coconut oil, Legazpi oil. I went into integrated microelectronics, and then sa insurance company. I was assigned sa aviation for a while to look after the planes of the Ayala companies.
Yes.
Yeah, and then before that, actually, before that, I think part of the reason is even though there were no entrepreneurial classes during college, I think I had that inclination because after I took my college, sa Ateneo by the way,
Okay.
and my MBA in Ateneo also, I worked for a while with a bank. So, wala na yun, Bank of Asia, it was a small bank.
Oh, yes.
But after about a year, I resigned. I went back to my hometown, which is Zamboanga City, because I wanted to go into business.
Okay.
So, nandun pa, even that early on, I had the interest to get into business. So, yeah, I went into rice farming. I went into training of prawns and tuna. We even bought a refrigerated vessel. No, not bought. We leased a refrigerated vessel, and for a while I was going to Basilan, to the islands of Sulu. Sumama ko doon. Wala pang gulo noon. Not advisable to do it now, but before wala pang gulo. But still, malakas ang loob na. That's what I was doing. And then I also had a tricycle operation. I had 10 units, parang may regular income. So even then, nandun na yung entrepreneurial inclination.
Yeah.
And then, well, this is maybe for your own benefit. Then I got married. So nag-iba ng priorities. Lalo na nung we had a son already.
Yes.
So I started thinking, teka muna, if I stay in Zamboanga, ganito ang opportunity. I decided to go back to Manila. And then I worked with SCB for a while, and then after that, sa Ayala for.
Yeah.
Yan ang background.
Subsidiaries of
But when I got the chance again, nakita ko itong opportunity to, well, essentially to give back on the medicine side.
That's what I started.
That's how it started. So, but then, because of my background, which is heavy on finance, strategic planning, and general management, I really made sure that we would run this professionally so that it will make money, so that it is sustainable, so that we can expand, so that the employees can benefit as we make, we progress as we are making more income. The first 3 years, I can tell you, we lost money.
First 3 years of Generika.
Yes, which was what we expected.
Okay.
And actually, we lost a lot of money. Mabuti na lang, because of my background, which is heavy on finance and whatnot, we prepared enough funds
to prepare for the 3 losses.
Yeah, for the
First
3 years
years.
of losses. And then as we opened more store, kasi wala ka from zero. Actually, we started in a 2-door residential apartment in a village, Goodwill subdivision. It's still there in Sukat. That's where we started. A 2-bedroom residential apartment in Sukat. Well, right now it's very different. I mean, the office, we just transferred to, we used to have a warehouse here, 1,200 square meters. It was too crowded, too cramped. Last October, we transferred to a new facility in Cabuyao, 7,000 square meters, from 1,200 to 7,000, in preparation for the continuing expansion of Generika, which is the plan actually, because we are about 557 stores now all over the
nationwide.
Country. Yes. But easily we could grow to 2,000, maybe even 3,000 stores and reach more communities. Nandiyan yung vision namin. I mean, it's written there.
Yes, okay.
It's a national chain. We want really to be the leading national chain for quality, affordable generic medicines with superior customer service and a strong sense of social purpose. We do a lot of community services.
Okay, sir. So
Okay.
speaking of the products and what you offer in the market, if you don't mind us asking,
Sure.
who are your competitors and how do you differentiate yourself from them?
Well,
Now-
when we started, the giant, and it's still the giant now,
Yeah.
has been Mercury.
Yes.
They had, what, 60-70% of the market because they focus on branded. So, mataas ang presyo.
Sila yung brand.
Peso-wise, yeah.
Uh-uh.
And so sila pa rin ang biggest in the industry and they have a very strong brand name. Normally, you look for medicine, oh, Mercury.
Yes.
Okay. Kami, we are the first private sector drugstore chain. Kaso lang, it took us 3-4 years to... We developed our own in-house computerized system, by the way, for point of sale,
Okay.
which gives you, you're fully computerized, you have all the information you need about the sales, the expenses of the profitability of all the stores the
Yes.
day after.
Kayo yung gumawa ng IT system para
Yes.
integrated yung mga
Yeah,
records.
everything. Yeah. Pati yung sa inventory management, pati sa on the accounting side now, it's already linked up and so on and so on. That was before we did that and established a relationship with the and we had 16 company stores.
Okay.
So to make sure that our business model is viable.
Okay.
And then that is when we launched franchising after 4 years. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So speaking of franchising, we all know that Generika Drugstore is a successful franchise nationwide. So can you please tell us something about your business model and why did you choose franchising to be your mode of distribution?
This is really an advocacy. And not knowing anything about the industry, we were not bound by the traditional way of doing things, by the convention of, if you had grown up in the industry, you would tend to do what you have been doing for so many years. Kami, we're total strangers to the industry. So we started thinking, okay, how should we set it up? Which is why our stores are air conditioned. Kasi medicines are subject to deterioration if exposed to high temperatures and to humidity. So we decided early on, we will air condition the stores. It's another cost, it's another expenditure, but if what we want is to preserve the quality medicines, we have to air condition it. Even now, most of the drugstores, lalo na yung are not air conditioned. Natitipid sila.
Yeah.
Eh, sa amin, no. We want quality products to be kept as, to preserve that quality. So, air conditioning, that's one of the stores on a daily basis.
Connected na siya sa
By
each branch.
We upload all the information every day, so we know that. So you have better control.
Yes.
The others are not as up to date on that one. Tapos ano pa ba? And then we decided to focus on generic medicine. So ano na plus trying to implement the division, which is with superior customer service. Malaking challenge because we are opening new stores with new people every month.
Okay.
So you have to train them and get them to develop the habit of providing, greet the customers with a smile, ask them what they need, and then try to, we train our people that you do not just serve what the customer wants.
Yes. These people are franchisees and employees.
Yeah, that is what we want. Because many times, di ba, Filipino, they tend to, what did you take when nung nagkasakit ka, amoxicillin? Oh, okay, then he just goes like that without really, may konting sipon, he orders wants to buy amoxicillin, we train our people to ask probing questions. Sir, bakit amoxicillin? Para sa inyo ba? Or sa... Hindi, sa alam ko. Bakit po? Kasi sinisipon, parang may mainit, malagyan. We ask those things, and then because many times, you don't need antibiotics. Baka virus yan, and antibiotics will not do anything for virus. Against bacteria, yes. So we tell him, sir, wag mo na yung antibiotics. Why don't you try this. In other words, kung anong kailangan, hindi kung anong hinihingi, anong kailangan ng customer.
You really connect with them.
That is what we want to happen. To provide that quality service.
Yes.
Kasi may especially now, I think you guys are aware, no? The many highly resistant bacteria are being developed because of the abuse of antibiotics. Because of the, even, hindi lang sa tao, no? Sa livestock, sa mga poultry, sa mga piggery, they inject them with all kinds of hormones and antibiotics so they do not get sick. Tapos, kinakain natin yan. So, napapasa sa atin. So nakikita mo, it's a business. At the same time, nandun yung advocacy. That for the good of everybody, we should not just give away antibiotics to anyone who will ask.
So, okay, sir, I'm assuming that in the next few years, that's part of the plans of Generika Drugstore to include that in advocacy.
Yeah, we're the only drugstore chain right now doing that.
That
the others
this one
do not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So aside from that, sir, what else is in store for Generika?
Well, the big thing is, the expansion program to reach as many communities as we can, no? And I mean, including the smaller municipalities. There's a reason for that. No? We have opened in certain provinces. I'll give you an example, specific example in Tanjay, Negros Oriental, I think, Tanjay.
Okay.
We opened a store there and may lumapit sa amin customer, retired school teacher. Nagpapasalamat siya na open na kami doon. Said, bakit po? Dati daw sa Imu siya because his son was working in the area and he was a customer of Generika and he was buying simvastatin, which kasi may problema siya sa cholesterol.
Okay.
His wife, also a retired school teacher, had the same problem, and she was also buying simvastatin. But when they went home to Tanjay, wala pa kami noon, so he had to buy from the local boutiques. Ang sabi niya, ang problema, the same product, simvastatin, was available in Tanjay, but he had to pay 40 pesos kasi yun ang presyo ng butika. When we came in, our price was only 10 pesos. Exactly the same. This is generic na.
Generic.
So sabi niya, kaya
the same item.
The same product, generic product, but the local butika was selling it at 40 because there was no competition. He would have to travel, I don't know, half an hour, pay pamasahe to the nearest city or town if he wants to buy medicine not in that local drugstore which is charging much. No? So it's not practical to do that. So he had to buy there. No? Ang sabi niya, ang masisave lang niya na 30 pesos is enough for him to buy rice for the day. Yung wife din may savings of 30. So they can buy fish and other stuff kasi probinsya. So parang buhay na sila for the day. And this is our retired school teacher. So that's the kind of benefit that we can give to those communities.
Profound din pala yung effect niya to the lives of.
Hindi
lang
lang
siya basta nakapagbenta ka ng drugs.
Hindi lang sa health.
Yeah.
Malaking savings na kasi branded. But even on the pricing, because the local small drugstore, they take advantage. The pricing high. Kaya yun ang kailangan pa namin ko. Marami pa dyan, community. So yun ang fun. That's why the expansion is ongoing. End of the year, we should be more than 600.
Yes.
And then thereafter, ang plano ko is if we can expand mga 150 stores a year.
150 stores a year.
Kaya that's more than 10 stores a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And most of these are through franchising.
Right now, franchisees make up about 90%.
Mm-hmm.
The reason nag-focus kami sa franchising is we have limited capital.
Okay.
And we wanted to grow fast. No? So, the one way is use other people's money.
Yes.
So, sila nag-invest, but we help them, etc., etc., etc. But now, it has come to the point na we want to medyo balance the ratio kasi 90 ang franchise system.
10% ang hold by the
Maybe over the next few years, we'll try to reach na on a ratio of maybe 50-50. So we have better control of the entire network. And also, kasi minsan nangyayari, some franchises, they give up the store. And now, because of that experience, we're very much more careful and selective about new franchises.
Okay, and going back, is there any more challenges that Generika Drugstore had to hurdle before achieving stability or becoming into the well-known nationwide franchise that it is today?
Marami. Along the way, which is expected. Yung growing expansion, daming problema niya.
Kasi,
sa lalo po eh.
Yeah, you've mentioned na during the first 3 years, lost po kayo. And you mentioned that yung pharmaceutical industry before, when Generika was still just beginning, was karamihan ng mga brands are yung mga expensive. Until now.
Yeah, there is still a bias to that, lalo na for those who can afford.
Alright. So, what else?
And then we still have to educate a lot more people because nandiyan kulang pa rin for some.
So more or less, yung mga challenges that you have experienced before, they still persist today. Meron pa rin.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, you've just, I guess, grown Generika into
Yeah, but the acceptance level for generic medicines is much higher now.
Much higher.
In fact, kaya even Mercury, which used to carry only branded before, wala kang makitang generics before. Now they're forced to carry generic medicines or at least man-branded generics. Branded generics are generic medicines na with a brand, like Rightmed, like Safarix.
Okay.
And then they usually have endorsers like John Lloyd for Biogesic.
Yeah.
So that
Some marketing.
but the price is, you pay accordingly on the branded generics. I think yung Biogesic is about almost 3 pesos. Ang presyo namin is 60-70 centavos.
Okay.
For the, you see the difference?
Yeah.
It's not cheap to get an endorser like Champion. So even against branded generics, there can be big savings. Yung mga Tempra, yung mga Biogesic, those are branded generic products. They're not the original branded with the patent.
Yeah. Hanggang ngayon nga pala, they're still very well. Coming from you, after having invested so much time and effort into building your career, and of course, building and growing Generika Drugstore, what would be your advice to aspiring entrepreneurs, especially for students like us who were graduating in a few months from now, and most of us will be starting our...
Isang point ko sa mga new budding entrepreneurs, okay yan, you do that. Be willing to take risks. Pero sana huwag masyadong malaking risk. Be ready to accept that you will make mistakes, that you will fail. But learn from those mistakes, those failures. Because that's, di ba si Edison, how many experiments did he do before he found the right one for incandescent?
Hundreds by thousands.
1,000 yata.
Thousands of mistakes before
You-
perfecting the
it,
light
it
bulb.
takes determination, and then that's the other thing, persistence, yung determination to succeed, but you have to, better if you have a mentor who can guide you, can help you, but dapat nandun yung persistence. Di ba, maski na first half, you're down by 20 points, ito na, give up. Di lang isang natuto pa. Pare, kung anong gagawin natin, okay, ikaw, you guard this, ikaw, you do this, you do, and then you come back, and then you win the game, ayun ang maganda. Dapat may fighting spirit, determination. So, in addition, it also helps you go into corporate. You get a different kind of experience, you establish a bigger network of people and so on who can help you. But if you don't just focus on employment, try to have something on the side. I don't know what it is. You can be writing, you might be good in writing, you might be able to make money on that. You could be mentoring on the side, yung teach English. Marami dyan, Koreans or what, baka by internet or what, you make, in other words, generate, do not be other, gain experience, generate additional sources of income, and then, isa pa pala, huwag naman ubusin lahat yung mga sweldo o mga kinita mo. Develop the habit of saving. It is important. And then invest that, kasi malaking bagay yung you develop that habit, let's say you get an increase. You do not, my tendency is to spend all of that money, di ba? You got, I don't know, a 500 peso increase, baka ang cost of living, standard of living, tumaas by 500 pesos or even, so wala kang savings. Why don't you try to save, kung kaya mo yung 500 or 400 of that thing, you take it away already when you get the paycheck and save it, invest it, kasi malaking bagay yung compounding effect over a period of time, lalo na mataas ang compounding rate, if you can get an 8-10% or what, and you keep saving, then you may have your saved money for your small business.
It's good to start young.
Yeah, well, although you can be a late bloomer, katulad ako, at the age of 60.
Pero like, earn your experience as early as you can.
Yeah.
Para ma-establish ka na by the time you're seasoned to do business on your own. Like you said, kasi hindi ka na, wala naman talaga sa plano mo yung entre.
Yeah.
But then you gain your confidence from working through these many companies. Kaya afterwards, confident ka na when you began Generika.
Yeah, but actually looking back, what we did was risky. Well, you know that startups, about more than 90%, they were done within 5 years. So you have to be aware about that also. Pero still, mabuti na. Try, be persistent, learn, and then make adjustments here and there, and so on. After all, better if you do get into something that you love to do, then it is not work. Because yan ang gusto mo, like you may have a talent for writing like that. So you write. You enjoy what you're doing, and if you can make money, fine. If you have some other talent, I don't know, on the internet, that's another big area that you will get into. Maraming ko. And then, maski na, if you can start earlier, better. But even if you're 60, pwede pa rin. So long as you have the energy, you have the good health, so long as you have the determination. Yan ba? Sila Ray Crocs, Colonel Sanders, sino ba ba dyan? Starting late.
As long as you still have the energy.
Yeah.
Go lang.
Yeah. Or you have the inspiration.
Yeah. Alright?
So,
Okay, so...
marami na yata yan. Unless you guys have some final questions.
Nah. Alright. So yeah, so since we respect Mr. Ferrer's time, this marks the end of our interview. So I hope you guys learned something from this short conversation. We definitely learned a lot. I hope you guys learned too. And once again, thank you very much, sir, for having us here and for accommodating us for this interview. Thank you very much, po, sir, and have a good day, po, guys. Have a good day and good luck with term end. Thank you very much.
Good luck sa inyo lahat.
Okay.